Hi, sixth grade. Nice to see you again. We hopefully you had a lovely break and that you are ready to get back to work on your painting. Whether that break was just a week or whether it was all across winter break, either way, we are going to be moving forward with this painting. Some of you are possibly looking at this picture and saying, but Mrs. Dominic, you've painted everything. It's done, isn't it? And the answer to that is no. When little teeny tiny kids, kindergarten, first, preschool, stuff like that, when they paint, they cover as much of the white of the page as they can with one big old layer of paint, and then they are done. This is the biggest difference between a beginning painter, like a little baby or a child, and an adult professional painter is the number of layers of paint that they use, or even the types of materials that they use. Yes, there's a certain amount of control of the paintbrush. Yes, there is a level of, oh, these are little kid paints versus like professional grade paints. But that's not near as important as the layering process. Okay. Layering and looking and seeing what could be fixed or changed or adjusted is just as important, if not more so, than like color choice. Things like that. Color choice, paint handling, drawing ability. You can make something that is amazing just by going back and reworking and refining and being able to recognize your mistakes or recognize areas that are sort of lame and weak and making them more interesting. So, to do that for us, you're going to have to actually look at your painting. And for some of you, this will be easy, especially if you have a little bit of a perfectionist streak. And for some of you, this will be quite hard because some of you are like, what? I'm done. And then you want to walk away from it. You don't want to look at it anymore. I understand. But whether you are the perfectionist type or the I'm just done type, you need to look at this painting and you need to decide, where could I make it better? I want you to find at least 2 or 3 areas on this painting where you could make it better and actually work on it. This shouldn't be particularly hard for you. It should be fairly easy. Okay, so for example, say I wanted to look at each one on a detail level, right? Keys, highly detailed already because I did most of it in Sharpie. You might have an area like that too. So to me, my keys are somewhat done. I'm not going to say completely done, but I'm going to say done for now. The piece of paper, I want it to be plain, so that one I also say is done. That leaves my two like actual metal mechanical pieces. This is that crank or that roller in the typewriter, and this is that section of keys. I know what we're doing next after today's step, so I'm going to leave my keys alone, but I really want to make this piece pop. This is the piece of my machine that is closest to me. If you look at the arrangement, this piece overlaps the paper and the keys, and the paper overlaps the hammers. So this one's the piece closest to me. So it's the one that could use the most detailing. So because of that, I'm going to start here and I'm going to try to add some to this piece. Now, you have some options. You could add another layer of paint. This thing's closest to me, so maybe I want to make it darker in color. I could go through and darken up some of these areas, but if I darken it with paint, then you have to wait and let it dry. That might be the best option for you. Just know that it might take you some more time. Other options you have are to go back and reference your materials testing. You might This might be the perfect spot for you to come and bring in some marker or some pen detailing. Posca, who knows? Maybe pencil. Maybe you want to add in some shading with pencil, or you want to go in with those oil pastels. Whichever materials you tried that you have not yet used on your project, this is a great time to do this. Great time to use it. You want to be able to use those materials that show up best on top. So the watercolor is underneath these materials. So anything on this side that showed up really well would be a great time to use those materials. If you didn't test it before you go and put it on your painting, I would say test it on this page. You already have watercolor on here, so just grab something and try it out, right? Like I have this marker that writes in white. Is it going to show up on the watercolor? No, it's not. That's not going to work. What about this one that writes in gold? That one does. I tested it. I know it's going to work before I try and put it on my page. Okay, so today your job is to choose 2 or 3 new materials, whether it's another bit of watercolor or it's some sort of more drawing, writing type material. That goes on here. Okay, 2 to 3 of them. Put on your project in a way that you like best. Make sure it looks nice. Be done with it. Let it dry. Photograph it. Turn it in, and you're done. Okay? Best of luck to you. I'm going to do mine, but those were all the directions. So if you need me, feel free to stop the video and do your own work or ask me questions, but keep moving forward on your project.